From Omni Search Labs in Rhode Island, you're listening to Omni Presents. I'm Chris.
And I'm Cheryl. We're your AI guys from the Omni Search Labs virtual digital marketing team.
Join us as we unravel the latest from the OSL blog.
And walk you through the latest news and information on how to optimize your business for AI and search engines.
So to jump right into it today, imagine losing a $50,000 commercial contract simply because an artificial intelligence bot couldn't read the invisible code on your website.
Yeah, which sounds crazy, but it's happening.
It really is. It's not some distant sci-fi hypothetical anymore. It is happening right now to local businesses who just haven't realized that the entire mechanism of how customers find services has fundamentally broken and rebuilt itself over the last 18 months. So welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're unpacking the chaotic collision between traditional search engines and AI.
It's a massive shift, Chris. And to guide us, we are looking at a comprehensive strategy guide and a blog post from our team at Omni Search Labs. The piece is titled, Bridging the Gap Between Traditional SEO and AI. And our mission today is really to just, cut through the exhausting marketing buzzwords.
Because there are a lot of them.
So many. We want to look at the actual data structures underneath modern search and help you understand why treating SEO and AI as two completely separate marketing strategies is a critical and honestly a very expensive mistake for a business to make right now.
Absolutely. Because if you run a business right now, you are probably caught in this incredibly frustrating crossfire. On one side, you've got these aggressive sales reps cold calling you, right? Pitching these mystical, super expensive AI packages and telling you that Google is just completely dead.
Right. The doom and gloom pitch.
Yeah, exactly. And then on the other side, you have your traditional marketing agencies telling you to just ignore the AI hype. It's a fad. Just keep paying for your monthly keyword reports. And it's overwhelming. But the Omni Search Labs guide makes a really compelling case that the truth is much more unified.
Yeah, and to understand the solution, we actually have to stop looking at the technology first, which is hard for people, and look at human behavior instead. Because the fundamental way a real customer searches for a service has completely evolved.
Right. And that behavioral shift is what the authors call the two-step verification process. So in the past, the customer journey was basically just a single step. Someone needed a service, they typed a few keywords into Google, and they clicked the first link. That's gone.
It really is. Today, finding a business, whether it's a commercial contractor, a specialized lawyer, or, a local marine trades company down in New Bedford, it happens in two distinct phases. Phase one is what we call the AI shortlist.
Okay, so let's put a real-world scenario to that for the listener. Say a facility manager in Providence is dealing with a massive plumbing emergency at a commercial building. In 2019, they just Google commercial plumbers near me.
Yeah, but today, that same facility manager is stressed, they're pressed for time, and they absolutely do not want to open 10 different website tabs to see who is actually licensed for large-scale boiler emergencies.
Right, nobody has time for that.
No. So they open an AI assistant instead. They might use ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Perplexity, whichever one, and they type a highly specific, very conversational prompt, like, I need a licensed commercial plumber who handles large-scale boiler emergencies, operates in Providence County, and has a proven fast response time.
And the AI engine just does all the heavy lifting. It synthesizes millions of data points and instantly generates this curated short list of maybe 2 or 3 companies that perfectly match those complex parameters.
Exactly. So the AI acts as a highly efficient filter. But here is the catch, and this is where I see businesses drop the ball all the time. A customer almost never hires a contractor based solely on a text response from an AI bot.
Right. They have their short list, but they don't just blindly call the first name ChatGPT spits out.
Never. And that brings us to step 2, which is traditional verification. The user takes those 2 or 3 shortlisted business names, and they take them directly to Google or Google Maps.
Why? Because they need to run a trust check.
Yep. They need to read recent customer reviews, they verify the physical street address to ensure the business isn't a scam, and they look at photos of the team and the trucks to confirm the operation is, active and reputable.
It's almost like, it's like online dating, right?
Oh, totally.
Yeah, the AI platform is the matchmaker. It's the algorithm that sets up the blind date by handing you that initial shortlist based on your very specific preferences. But Google Maps is the background check you run on that person before you actually agree to meet them for coffee.
That is a perfect analogy. And for a business owner listening to this right now, that creates a terrifying double-edged risk. It really is a massive vulnerability. Because if your traditional SEO is flawless and you rank #1 on Google Maps with 55-star reviews, but your website's underlying code is structured in a way that AI bots cannot read it.
You never even get the date.
Exactly. You are entirely excluded from the matchmaker shortlist, so the customer never even knows you exist to look you up in the first place.
But there is a flip side to that, too. Let's say you pay someone a fortune to optimize your site specifically for AI summaries, but you've completely neglected your local map presence. So you have no reviews and an unverified address. You successfully show up on the AI shortlist, which is great, but you fail the background check.
You fail the background check, the customer looks you up, sees a sketchy profile, and just calls the next company on the list.
Right. You lose the revenue either way. Both steps are now absolutely mandatory.
Which perfectly explains why the marketing industry's response to this shift has been so chaotic. Because both of these steps are required, agencies have just flooded the market with a confusing alphabet soup of acronyms to try and sell more services. Business owners in Southeastern Mass are getting slammed with these terms.
Oh, yeah. So the Omni Search Labs guide attempts to neutralize this confusion by introducing an overarching umbrella term called SEVO, Search Everywhere Optimization. I really like that framing because it implies protection from all angles.
It's a unified canopy. Underneath that SEVO umbrella, your digital strategy splits into two interacting pillars. On the left, you have traditional SEO that covers the foundation we just talked about, local Google Maps profiles, customer review generation, and basic technical health.
Right.
And then on the right, you have AIO, or AI optimization. This is the process of preparing your website's data so that an artificial intelligence platform can actually parse it and recommend you.
Okay, let me jump in here, Cheryl, because if I'm a business owner sitting in a pitch meeting with an agency, inside that AIO pillar, I'm hearing all these trendy sub-acronyms being thrown around, GEO, AEO, LMO. Are these actually completely separate tactics? Like, do I need to buy a GEO package and then an LMMO package?
No, and that is the exact trap the source material warns about. They are not separate tactics. Agencies use these terms to sound cutting edge and justify, separate line items on an invoice.
Right, to run up the bill.
Exactly. So let's demystify them. GEO stands for Generative Engine Optimization. That simply means formatting your content so AI search engines like Perplexity can synthesize your information into multi-source summaries.
Okay.
Then AEO is Answer Engine Optimization. That is just structuring your data so that voice assistants like Siri or Alexa can grab a direct, instant answer to a spoken question.
Like when you ask your phone for the hours of a store.
Precisely. And finally, LLMO is Large Language Model Optimization, which is preparing your factual data so models like ChatGPT can verify your brand's existence in their underlying training data.
So it all just boils down to data structuring. It's essentially just translating your business facts into a language that a machine can easily digest, regardless of which specific machine is doing the reading.
That's it. Whether it's a voice assistant, a chat interface, or a generative search summary, they are all pulling from the exact same foundational structured data on your website. You do not need 6 different packages. GEO, AEO, and LMLO are just granular applications that all live happily under that single AIO umbrella.
Which brings us to, I think, the most important question. We know AI engines are synthesizing this data, but AI isn't just a magic omniscient brain. It doesn't create answers out of thin air. It cross-references and verifies facts.
Right.
So how do these AI platforms actually decide which websites to trust? If ChatGPT has to pick 3 plumbers out of 50 in a local area, what is the mechanical criteria for that trust?
So, to answer that, we have to look at how search engines have historically evaluated trust. For years, Google used a framework called EEAT. That stands for Experience, Expertise, Authority, and Trust.
The gold standard for a long time.
It was. But the Omni Search Labs paper argues that in the era of generative AI, that old standard is no longer sufficient. They introduce an evolved framework called Equate, which adds 2 crucial pillars specifically for AI validation quality and uniqueness.
Okay, let's unpack the mechanics of Equate, because we can't just treat this like a textbook glossary. How does a bot actually verify these things? Take the first E, expertise.
Well, expertise requires explicit, machine-readable proof of your skills. So if you are a specialized marine electrician, an AI bot cannot infer your expertise just because your website looks nautical.
Right, it doesn't care about your pretty boat pictures.
Exactly. It looks for specific terminology, industry standard certifications mentioned in the text, and really comprehensive service descriptions that signal deep domain knowledge.
Okay, so that's the raw data. But what about Q, quality? Because that's one of the new additions for the AI era.
Quality is purely technical. It refers to clean, fast website code. Humans need a site to load quickly, obviously, but AI bots need the underlying code to be structurally sound so they can crawl it without hitting errors. If your site is full of broken links, heavy scripts, or, deprecated code, an AI crawler will simply abandon it to save computing resources.
Wow, okay, let's hold on that for a second because the next letter is U, uniqueness. I think looking at quality and uniqueness together is fascinating. If the Equate framework is like submitting a resume for a highly competitive job, the traditional EAT pillars, your expertise, authority, trust, and experience, those are your raw qualifications, right? They're your degrees, your past jobs, your
A
references.
baseline requirements to even be considered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But quality in this framework is making sure your resume is printed clearly in a standard font so the HR department's automated scanner can actually read the text. If you print your resume in visible ink or use some crazy abstract layout that the scanner can't parse, your application gets thrown out instantly no matter how incredible your experience actually is. That is what poor website code does to an AI crawler.
That is a brilliant way to visualize the technical side, yeah. And how does uniqueness fit into that analogy for you?
Uniqueness is your actual personality in the interview. It's the real Muddy Boots Project photos of your construction crew on a local job site. It's your specific original insights on a tricky building code in your specific town. Generic AI tools can generate thousands of words of bland, grammatically perfect marketing copy in seconds.
Huh.
But an AI cannot fake a photograph of your branded trucks parked in front of a real, recognizable local project.
It absolutely can.
Right? That uniqueness is the ultimate proof to a machine that you are a physical, living entity.
And the AI bots actively look for that now. They scan image metadata, they look for original phrasing, they compare your content against millions of other sites to ensure you aren't just copy-pasting generic industry filler.
Let's round out the rest of the Equate framework. We have A for authority, T for trust, and the final E for experience. How does a bot differentiate between authority and trust? Because, honestly, they sound like the exact same thing to most people.
It's a great distinction to make. Authority is primarily external. It's about who else is validating you. The AI bot looks for citations, links from local Chamber of Commerce websites, mentions in industry directories or reputable news articles. Authority is the rest of the internet pointing at you and saying, this business matters.
Okay, and trust.
Trust, on the other hand, is internal consistency. The bot checks to see if your physical address matches exactly across all platforms. It checks your website's security certificates. It scans the sentiment of your customer reviews. Trust is about ensuring you are safe and reliable for the AI to recommend.
Got it. And the final E, experience.
Experience is verifiable, real-world history. A bot looks at the age of your domain, the historical timeline of your reviews, like did you get 50 reviews in one day or steadily over 5 years? And it looks for case studies on your site to confirm you haven't just popped up overnight. You have a track record.
Okay, so if AI relies entirely on that quality pillar to read the code and the trust pillar to verify the data, what happens when a business pays for a beautiful, expensive website, but the developers just don't understand how AI indexing works? Like, wait, are you telling me I could drop 20 grand on a gorgeous, high-end design agency website tomorrow, and an AI might still completely ignore it because the under-the-hood data is missing?
Yes, it happens constantly, and this is probably the most critical realization in the Omni Search Labs guide. In the digital marketing industry, web development and search strategy have historically functioned in completely isolated silos.
Oh, entirely.
You'd hire a design agency to make things look beautiful with high-definition hero videos and sleek animations. Then, 6 months later, you'd hire a search strategist to try and make that beautiful site rank on Google.
But you can't just slap a search strategy onto a fundamentally broken architecture.
You really can't. If a web team builds a site without deeply understanding how AI crawlers parse data, they can accidentally block a business from ever making that AI shortlist. Let's talk about something called schema markup.
Okay, let's translate that for the listeners. Schema markup is basically just digital name tags attached to your code.
That is exactly what it is. If your website has text that says Smith Roofing 555-0199, a human visitor instinctively knows that is a business name and a phone number. But an AI crawler just sees a string of text characters.
That has no context.
Right. Schema markup is invisible code wrapped around that text that explicitly tells the bot, this text is the official local business name, this text is the verified customer service phone number.
So if your expensive design agency didn't add those digital name tags, the bot just gets confused.
The bot hits your site, sees a wall of untagged text, cannot confidently verify your entity details, and simply leaves to find a competitor whose site is properly structured. It's really that simple.
And conversely, a search strategist working on a poorly coded website cannot force an AI engine to trust the business. It is like putting premium racing fuel into a car with no engine. Every single line of code, every navigation menu, every piece of content must serve a dual purpose now.
It has to deliver an effortless, beautiful experience for the human visitors while simultaneously providing explicit, verified data to modern AI models. Web development and search strategy must overlap from day one.
Now, this realization about structural code naturally brings up the financial elephant in the room. If this data structuring is so critical, how should a business owner evaluate what they are currently paying their marketing providers for? Should AI optimization be an extra standalone fee?
Evaluating your provider really depends on the baseline health of your site, and the guide breaks this down very fairly. If your business has not done any active search engine optimization over the last few years, then yes, it is completely normal and expected for a provider to charge for their time to backfill this technical work.
Right.
They have to go in, clean up outdated code, build that schema markup we just talked about, update the copy, and fix technical errors before an AI engine can even begin to read your site.
That makes perfect sense. You have to pour the concrete foundation before you can build the house. But what if a business has been paying an agency a hefty monthly retainer for SEO for the last 3 years?
That is where you need to ask hard questions. If you have been paying for consistent, ongoing SEO, AI optimization should already be happening natively. The structural health, the verified entity details, the fast page speed, and the clean site code required to rank well on traditional Google are the exact same elements that AI engines use to build their
Oh,
shortlists.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, so if your provider is suddenly treating AI optimization as an entirely separate, expensive add-on package on top of your active retainer, you need to ask them directly, why wasn't our site structure already built to be read by modern search crawlers?
So it's not like going to the hardware store and buying a separate can of primer and then a separate can of top coat.
No, not at all. The Omni Search Labs authors argue that traditional SEO and AI optimization should function as a high-quality paint and primer in one. The chemistry of a good paint and primer is explicitly designed to cover the entire wall properly in a single application. They aren't two separate jobs, they are interacting parts of the exact same finish.
The guide actually advocates for an interesting alternative to the traditional model, too. They call it the anti-agency model. They argue for engineering the technical web build, the traditional search strategy, and the AI discovery data under one canopy from the very beginning. And they specifically mention utilizing platforms like Squarespace, starting around a $3,000 baseline, to avoid what they call the WordPress tax.
Ugh, the WordPress tax. It is a very real drain on business resources. WordPress is a powerful platform, sure, but for many local service businesses, it requires endless ongoing fees for plugin updates, security patches, and version compatibility issues.
That's a headache.
And here is the kicker. None of that maintenance actually improves your search visibility. In fact, if a plugin update breaks your site's code for a week, it actively damages your quality score with AI bots.
That's brutal.
It is. By eliminating that overhead using a more stable ecosystem like Squarespace, a business can focus its budget on actual SEO strategy, creating unique content and building authority rather than just paying to keep the digital lights on.
It all points back to this idea of a unified ecosystem. As we start to pull all these threads together, I think the core message for anyone listening is that modern digital discovery is not a binary choice. You don't have to choose between traditional Google search and new AI tools. They are a partnership. Clean code, structural health, and verified real-world data feed both sides of the equation.
Yeah, they feed the AI matchmaker shortlists, and they ensure you pass the traditional map background checks. You absolutely need both to survive.
It is an ecosystem where human collaboration with AI tools allows your business to shine, rather than being hidden in the shadows of bad code and missing data. Before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a provocative thought, something that builds on everything we've explored today about the Equate framework. As AI language models become increasingly advanced, and as they get better and better at detecting artificially generated content, your most valuable digital asset in the future will not be a clever keyword trick. It won't be an SEO hack or a hidden technical tactic. It will be your unfalsifiable human experience.
Because that is the one thing a machine cannot generate on its own.
Precisely. I challenge you to look at your own business's website right now, today. If an AI crawler came through and stripped away all the generic marketing text, all the stock photos of people shaking hands, and all the standard industry buzzwords, is there enough verified, unique, real-world proof left behind to prove to a machine that you actually exist? Do you have the Muddy Boots photos? Do you have the specific local insights? Because if you don't, in the eyes of the AI matchmaker, you might as well be invisible.
That is the ultimate test for modern businesses. Prioritize your uniqueness, ensure your technical quality allows that uniqueness to be read, and the visibility will follow.
Here's the wrapper. Modern digital discovery requires a unified strategy where clean code and authentic human experience feed both AI shortlists and traditional search verifications simultaneously.
If you're a business owner challenged with this right now, the key is to audit your website's underlying code for schema markup, ensuring your real-world credentials are automatically readable by AI engines without needing a separate, expensive marketing package.
Head over to omnisearchlabs.com/blog to read the full post.
We'll be back in a few weeks with our next episode. From OmniSearch Labs in Rhode Island, thanks for listening.
Now go optimize something and be discovered.